and I'm going to welcome everyone to our training call. Thank you so much for being with us tonight. The purpose of this call is to help debunk some of those myths, right? When we lose weight, when we start feeling great, when people start noticing our excitement and our passion, people are going to want to know what we're doing, right? And it's so much more fun to do with friends anyway. But when you start this program, we have people that are a little bit nervous. You know, people would say, well, I don't want to tell anyone, or I feel nervous about sharing, or I don't want to be posting my business on Facebook. But what I challenge you all to think about is, if your coach wasn't forthcoming with the information, none of us would be here tonight. None of us. And I'm so thankful for my childhood friend, Jen, who had the courage to come out and post her results on Facebook. And because of her, I lost 30 pounds. My husband lost 11 pounds. My mom lost weight. And there's 22,000 of us on this team today because one person had the courage to share. So with that being said, we want to teach you guys how to share safely, effectively, compliantly, and really ease some of your worries. So welcome to the call, everyone. I'm going to start with Miss Sophia Valares. Sophia is an old friend of the family's. I don't mean old. She is actually quite young and quite sexy, but she is a good friend of the family's. Her husband was a truck driver with my stepfather. They were actually best friends. And when Sophia saw me posting my results on Facebook, she said, "What in the world are you doing? I am exhausted. I'm overweight. I'm not feeling my best." I never anticipated that shy Sophia, with probably less than 200 Facebook friends, would grow a six-figure income with our company. So today I brought her on to really share a little bit of her experience and how she began sharing, and perhaps you will be so kind as to share some tips with the team.
Hey guys, thank you so much, Andrew. That was beautiful. And yes, that was the story. And as most of you know, I'm not a very going out person. I like the woods. I live in the middle of nowhere. I have no neighbors. I have nobody around me. And yeah, I had about 150 friends on Facebook, and none of those friends are doing Isagenix yet. So everyone that got on with me was new people that came along. And it's really, really so easy and simple to share on Facebook, and actually helps you guys. I think when you go and post on Facebook, you're going to try to do your best, and that's going to push you to your best results. And that's what happened with me. And I think what happened with Angela as well. She did that first post for her not to fall off the wagon again, like with everything else that she tried before. And that's how I started too. And today I have almost 5,000 friends on Facebook. And that's how I start with my new people. So when I try to speak to everyone, at least, I mean, I can speak to them every day, but at least once a week, I try to speak to everyone that I'm coaching and is doing the program. And on our day 8, I usually prepare a post for them. And that post it's to celebrate their results, because, you know, we are excited. We are also happy with, you know, everything changes on that first week. And you start feeling from terrible to amazing. So it's a great week to make that first post. And usually what I tell them to post is something like, after watching my friend Sophia go from a size 8 to a size 2 in her first, when she started the program, first 30 days or whatever. She's not supposed to say that because it's not really compliant. So maybe we should keep the dates out. But I decided to give this program a shot, and just finished my first week. I'm feeling amazing, full of energy, sleeping better, whatever you are feeling. And another one that usually we use is, I am so excited to say that while most people are back on some weight, during the holidays or whatever, I actually lost weight on my first week doing this amazing system. And some things that people sometimes do, and you should really not do it, is mention Isagenix or post a picture of the Isogenics box or your products. Because when you do that, guys, if you have some friends that really don't want to come to you, they're going to go and Google that Isogenics and find it or Amazon or something. Those products are not coming from the company. You don't know what you're getting. You don't know if they expired. You don't know if they're tampered with. You don't know really what you're getting. And you lose all your guarantees from the company. So it's not a smart thing to do. And you don't have the choice of choosing your own flavors. So I say, don't mention Isogenics, because let the person come to you and ask you. You're supposed to create a little curiosity there so they come to you, and that's the sense of making that post. Another thing is you should always tag your coach, because if you tag your coach, she's going to be watching, or she or he's going to be watching that post with you, and he's going to help you. Like if you have someone that's trying to push you out of your all these ideas there, you're going to have someone besides you to help you to answer that question or take that person out of offline and into your mailbox. The other thing, once you get that, when someone asks you about the program or about what you're doing, you shouldn't be answering online. You should take it immediately, take it offline, private message that person, try to schedule a time and get a phone number from them, and check with your coach or whoever is helping you and ask them when they are available and schedule a call. You shouldn't do those first 10, 15 calls. You really should do them with your coach, because it might be a question. I'm sure you already know about the products and you already know where Ionix is and how to make a shake and everything, but they might ask you something that you really don't know how to answer. And if you have that person, not only you learning from them how to talk to them and how to answer their questions, but also how to close the call, how to get the person to enroll. So those first 10 to 15 people, I always tell my people, let me make those calls with you. And you are learning. I mean, the only thing you have to do is really introduce me to the person. I'm doing all the work for you. So take advantage of that. And basically is that post is just to create curiosity, just to get the people to come to you and ask you what you are doing. It's so easy, and that's how I've been. Angela, I think she built like 95% of her business out of Facebook. I did about 98. I mean, almost all my people came from Facebook. It's like people I don't know from nowhere. I have people in Mexico, Australia, UK. I never been to Canada. I never been to Australia, never been to UK. So it's people that I didn't know from nowhere. But once you start...
If I may ask, tell the group how you went from 200 friends to 500 friends. How did you meet these people? Where did you go on Facebook to make all these connections and share the story?
Groups. That's, for me, that's what worked, was the groups. And it doesn't mean groups. It doesn't mean that you go into the groups and just post about your results or your transformations, or Isogenics. I have a lot of groups that you're really not even allowed to do that. But I go there and I make friends with those people, not even mentioning nothing about Isogenics. So whatever they are talking about, whatever it's going on in that group, you just interact with them and get involved in whatever the discussion is. And when you do that, I send them a friend request. So when I send them a friend request, they accept it. When they come to my page, they're going to know what I'm doing. So that's how I went from 150 friends to almost 5,000 in 2 years.
Awesome. So just to summarize, when Sophia's client hits their 1 week results, she, together with them, formulates a post on Facebook. She asks them to tag her. This way she can watch the post and support them and help them. And then she gives them a couple do's and don'ts. Don't mention Isogenics publicly, create curiosity. Don't answer any questions publicly, because the bottom line is going to be how much and, how much does it cost. But I don't want to tell them until I've shown them the value. So when people say, what are you doing? What's the name of it? You comment on each one. You hit reply and you say, I'll inbox you. And what that does is it creates more curiosity, but it bumps up your post in the algorithms so more people see it. then when you inbox them, you be in a hurry to take it offline. My kids are getting off the school bus. I'm in the middle of dinner. My husband's, I gotta go somewhere. Give me a time and a telephone when you can talk. I'm still kind of new, but I'll get my coach, Michelle, on the phone and she will explain it. I'll get my coach, Sophia, on the phone and she will explain it. That's it. All you're doing is, people are like, how do you get their phone number? You ask for it. You don't be weird. Ask for a time and telephone, create curiosity, and then just take it offline.
You know what I usually do with the phone number? I first give my phone number. I give them my house, my cell, everything. And once I give them I said, what's your phone number? They're going to give it. They're not going to say,
they feel
no,
more comfortable.
Yeah.
Great tip. Great tip. Okay, let's hear from the next person. Go ahead. Great job, Sophia.
Thanks, Tracy. Go ahead. And Tracy's going to talk about something very, very important, the core, to get to the core of someone's why and to really find out how you can help that person, because not everyone comes for weight loss. So Tracy, take it over.
Thank you, Sophia. So I'm going to talk a little bit about digging into the why. Really with this program, with anything that someone commits to, I mean, it's pretty much a no-brainer that everyone wants to lose weight and feel better. I mean, you can look at a Victoria's Secret model, and I guarantee you if you ask them, they still can probably say, yeah, I'd like to lose another pound or two. But it's really digging down to the core of why these people want to lose weight, what has gotten them to that point where they got off track, to where they kind of felt like it was out of their control anymore, and how they kind of got themselves stuck. For me personally, it was a time where I had to be vulnerable and I had to be brave sharing my story, because I had some health issues, and I'm only 30 years old, so it was kind of hard for me to come to terms with that kind of spun everything out of control for me. But once I opened up, first with my coach and then with other people that I'm sharing my story with, I found that I'm not alone on an island, and most people you'll find that they can relate to you, and that's really how they feel comfortable with, wanting to start a program with you. For example, when I started talking to some of my friends, everybody across the board says, I want to lose weight, I want more energy, I want to sleep better, I want to be happier, I see you're doing all these things, tell me how. And so, everybody can talk about the products, but one of my close friends, and I won't really kind of throw her too much under the bus, but she was a Division I athlete, super athletic. You never ran into her when she wasn't, in yoga pants and doing something active. And then she had kids, and started throwing all of her time and all of her money into her kids and all of their sports. And she just told me how, that started taking over her life. And because of that, she let herself go. And then she got to the point where she felt she couldn't play with her kids anymore. This person who had lived her life as an athlete got to the point where she felt like she couldn't go outside and shoot basketball with her kids or chase them around. And she got really emotional talking about it. But once we got down to that, I told her, what if I could change all that? It's not that I'm, doing the work, but what if we could get to the solution? Would that be something that you're open to? And absolutely, everybody wants to have that, feel better and have more time with their kids, more energy. So I think really getting down to that reason is where people emotionally connect to wanting to change their lives. And at first, I'm not gonna lie, I'm extroverted to a point. Yeah, it's kind of intimidating knowing you want to talk to all of these people, but what really helped me was stop being so businessy about it. Do we know that this is something that we can share and get compensated for? It's awesome. But when you start talking to people like they're one of your girlfriends, or, like you're just having a conversation in a coffee shop, it takes the pressure off of them and it takes the pressure off of you. You're going to get told no, but if you just make it a conversation where you want to listen to people, I think you'll really find that that's where people open up and they trust you as their coach, and they don't want anyone else to be their coach but you now, because they've shared their personal story with you. And once they share it once and they feel those results, they're going to want to share it with everyone else. I mean, that's how I was. So I think that's really the important part about asking those tougher questions, but don't just take the pressure off of it. And then the next thing I did to kind of help me start those conversations was I went to isagenixbusiness.com. If you haven't done this yet as a new person, I highly suggest you do it. Go to the website and look up the memory jogger. For me, I'm a lister. I do to-do lists on my to-do list. I love crossing things out, whether it's bills that I'm paying or, feeding the dogs, everything. I write it down. So for me in the beginning, I was just contemplating, well, who can I share with? I mean, you feel like you don't know anyone, even though you may have 500 friends on Facebook, but you don't know how to start that. So you print out this memory jogger and you just start making your list. You're writing down names. You may not have these people's contact information yet, but that doesn't matter. You can get that. You want to make a list about, coworkers that you have, family members that you have, people that go to your gym, people that go to your nail salon, anyone that as you go through your Facebook friends, you can look for people that you just feel like the little bits that they share of their lives, you feel like they can benefit from you. After a while, I realized that I had over 100 people on my list, and I could just expand from that. And you just start, any contact information you have, you fill that in. But once I started going down my list, I prioritized it next. So I looked at the people closest to me, the people who I would feel were easiest to talk to first. And then maybe I made another list of people I felt would benefit from it the most. And then once I started going down that list, every time I would talk to someone, whether it was a personal message on Facebook, I would just notate that. If it was a voicemail or setting up a time, I would notate that. Whether it was a 3-way call or anything like that, I would just make a note of the first time that I talked to them. And then, maybe I hit another milestone. I'm still a little new. I've only been doing Isagenix for about a month and a half now. But when I would hit my month mark and I would put out a picture, I would notate anybody that commented on that picture. I'm going to write their name down because something made them stop out of their day to, show interest in that. Then as I'm starting to share, I find out that I've now enrolled my brother's first girlfriend I probably haven't talked to her since, I don't know, the early to mid 90s. A coworker of my uncle, a parent of one of the kids that I don't even teach at my school, just a random parent of a kid that's not even in my class. It's crazy when you really make this list. You expand it so much to so many people that you can reach, and that person will always branch out to another person, and it's really endless. You're meeting people every day. I mean, you can go to the gas station and, bump into someone and, just start a conversation. Like I said, if you take the pressure off of it and don't make it so businessy, you just ask people about their lives and be open. People are really receptive to, wanting the solution because it's probably something that they've been considering or thinking about all along, and they haven't been brave enough to be the one to start the conversation. So if you do that, I think that makes all the difference. So
thank you so much, Tracy.
That's really all I have.
Tracy, what was the number one reason you felt compelled to share this with others?
I think the number one reason was, obviously I knew the weight loss could happen. That's like the icing on the cake. It wasn't the reason I did this, but to be able to get rid of every medication I was taking, which was costing me more than Isagenix cost me. I was on so many prescriptions, and to just feel healthy and feel better than I felt even back when I was in high school. Yeah. I just knew that if I could have results when I felt like I had a pretty tough uphill battle, and I had a lot of stuff working against me, then someone who, has just kind of lost their way a little bit, it's gonna show results for everyone.
Yeah. To help. to help others.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, no one wants to put their before picture out there on the internet. No one wants to show that. But when you know that, you being a little bit brave and taking some courage and putting that out there is going to help so many people, it's so worth it.
Awesome. Can we give it up for Tracy? This was her first time ever speaking on a team call. She did amazing.
Thank you.
So Tracy, you want to pass it over to the next person?
Yes, I'm going to pass it over to Heather, who is going to kind of tackle the myth about not having the time to put into Isagenix.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Heather.
Get it, girl.
All right, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So I know I've heard it many, many times, hundreds of times probably, and you guys have probably heard it too, that I'm too busy, I don't have time to take on something else with my kids, my husband, whatever. And I'm here to tell you, you can find the time. I'm a busy single mom of an 11 and 14-year-old daughters who are involved in sports and clubs, and they play year-round, and not to mention their social lives. So you can find the time. You just have to want to find the time. So I'm going to tell you a little bit on how I've gotten myself organized and have fit Isagenix into the pockets of my time, because I do have another job. And you have to be organized in order to make it network marketing for sure. Not you're going to fail. You're going to fall behind on your follow-ups, and you just, in this business, that's what you need. That's what it's built on, is just being organized first of all, and then your follow-up. So I'm going to go over just 2 tools that I use. I use Google Calendar, which I love, love, love. I've discovered it in the last probably year and a half. It's free. All you have to do is create a Gmail account. I suggest to color code it depending on what's going on in your life. If it's an Isagenix event, if it's a personal event, if it's a doctor's appointment, like my kids' sport, they're a different color, just so I know what's going on. I include everything from the moment I wake up to the moment I go to sleep. So if it's first thing in the morning, I'm eating my breakfast, which is my shake. So I'm drinking my breakfast, and I'm posting on Facebook and LinkedIn. That's on my calendar. Then I get to work at 9 o'clock and do my regular work. And then lunchtime is when I'm reaching out to people. I take at least a half hour to either do reaching out to new people or doing follow-ups. And if I'm inspired at that time, I'll post again, because there's a lot of people on Facebook again. So usually I'll post something around lunchtime. And then what else do I put on my Google Calendar? I like to highlight products on Wednesdays, I think. So I put that in my calendar. I put on Thursdays when I'm going to shout out my own team members. So put that on your calendar. Like, Google Calendar is amazing. You can put in an event once and you can click for it to go on forever. So every week it'll show up. So it's so easy to do. So put your presentations, your follow-ups, your 3-way calls. If you're going to the gym, put it in your calendar. You will be more likely to go to the gym if it's in your calendar. Even your family time. My kids are older now, so they ignore me, which is horrible. But I don't have as much family time other than their sporting events and all that sort of stuff. But another great thing for using Google Calendar is that it'll set reminders. So it'll let you know a half hour before you have a meeting that you have a meeting, so you're prepared. So you're not going to fail in that meeting. You can get yourself in the right mindset. And one other tool I use is Google Drive or Google Docs. So this is kind of going back to Tracy's list. My list is in a Google Doc. So I have it on my home computer, on my laptop, it's on my phone. I can access it from anywhere, anytime, wherever I am. So I have my team. I have a list for my team, my personal team, that has their contact information. And then I also have another tab that's for my prospects. So like Tracy was saying, I list my prospects. I have my list of 300 people, whatever it is. It's growing every day. But then I put in there my first touch, my second touch, my third touch. So you'll know when you want to follow up with them in a month or 2 months, or you kind of feel when you want to reach out to these people again. And then, of course, I have an enrolled column that I like to check when you enroll them. What else about the Google Docs?
I think what's important is that Heather is a very busy mom with a full-time job and 2 teenage girls who play sports. And the beauty of this is that even when you share Isagenix, you can do it in the pockets of your life. And I know that Heather does. She'll do a 10-minute phone call in the morning. She'll do a 20-minute call in the afternoon. She'll help a girl on her team in the evening. She'll take, that's the beauty of this, is that this is not an 8-hour job. This is talk to 3 people a day, right? And how long is a conversation? 15, 20 minutes? That's the beauty of this, is that you can create a residual income and you can help so many people change their health by dedicating little pockets of time. Heather uses the Google, but I am not that internet savvy, so I literally have a planner from Staples on my desk all the time. And it's just talking to friends and asking for referrals and having a good time with this. I mean, the minute this starts to feel like a burden, guys, you're doing it wrong. Right, Heather?
Absolutely, yep. And definitely less scrolling on Facebook, eliminate those distractions, because 20 minutes later you're to somebody's page and you don't even know who the heck they are. So unless you're friend requesting them, stop scrolling and join the groups like Sophia suggested. Join the groups and start posting in those groups. And one other thing I definitely want to touch on too is waiting to share your results and your experience with Isagenix. I know a lot of people are like, I want to reach my goals before I start talking to other people about it. And I say, don't wait. You never know when you are going to talk to somebody, and that's going to be the time that they were ready. If you wait, think all those people that you don't talk to in those 30 days that you were waiting to hit your goal, or 60 days. That would be horrible. I signed up a bunch of people in my first 30 days, and if I didn't share those first 30 days, who knows? Either I would have lost them, I would have gone to somebody else, or they may have never signed up. So don't wait. Be proud of what you're doing and share it with everybody, because we certainly have a gift.
Absolutely. I mean, we have a solution for weight loss, for energy, for healthy aging, for athletes, for people who just are not getting enough nutrition. How many moms do you know are so busy taking care of everyone else that their biggest problem is that they don't eat enough? People can't lose weight because they're not eating enough. This is about convenience. I have doctors and nurses, but if you don't know, you don't know. The programs that are popular in the US are Weight Watchers and Jenny Craig and things that don't provide the best nutrition. This is superfoods. We're getting the best meal into our body at the best prices, and all we're doing is sharing this with people that we love and care about. So, Heather, do you want to pass it over to the next person? That was awesome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Next person is Michelle Kleiman, and she is going to talk about launch parties and the importance of 3-way calls.
Thanks, Heather. You did an awesome job. So everybody knows that obviously a great way to share is through social media, but there are other ways to do that. And one of the great ways to share is through a launch party. It is a super fun way to get a lot of friends, families, people maybe that you work with all together at one time. You can do it in your home. It's something that if you know a bride or a groom that, prior to their wedding, they might want to lose some weight and to get healthy. That's a great way to get people together. Maybe you go to the gym and they might allow you inside of the gym to do a launch party. So there are so many places and ways for you to be able to do that. One of the great things about a launch party is that we can make it super fun by thinking of a really great theme. So it can be chocolate and cocktails. It can be absolutely anything. And I want you to let you know, cocktails, don't be afraid to go outside the healthy and out of the compliant foods that we eat, because we want people to know that it is true a lifestyle. It is not a life sentence. This is something that we really want everybody to enjoy. Another thing is that when we are setting up, we want to make sure that we put out really fun snacks that we really enjoy. We're showing some really great iSamovies. It's a great tool, the iSamoothie. So we're showing some testimonials. We are showing, you know, when it comes to the business, just so people get a little bit of an understanding about why Isagenix and just experience Isagenix. It is a great time for people to just be able to ask you questions and to really find out about how other people are feeling and really to dig into their why a little bit. So I absolutely love lunch parties.
Michelle, there's
Yes.
in isagenixbusiness.com, under the training tools, there's literally slides and videos that you can use. So it's not even that serious. Like, Heather taught me how to do my first launch party. She was just like, play some good music. Let people sample the products. And that's it. It's not that serious. 45 minutes and they're out.
Absolutely. Bringing in the music, just, you know, it's all about having fun and letting people know that they have the backing and that they have, you know, the support system and other people cheering them on. And it's just an exciting time when you're all doing it together. So that's my take on the launch parties. I've done it and I just personally have a blast. And it's a great time to get all of your enrollments at one time rather than, you know, a one by one enrollment. So the next thing I really want to talk about, do you have anything else that you can add to the launch parties, Ange?
That was perfect.
Okay, awesome. Three-way calls, it's the lifeline to our business because we want to make sure that people know that you guys, you don't have to be the experts. We have coaches that have been doing this for a really long time, and eventually we all learn. Day by day, we're learning more and more and more. And so we want to take that pressure off of you. And somebody asks you how much the system costs. It's different for everybody. So take the onus off of yourself. Don't worry about it at all. Also, making that list. I know that you guys touched on it before, but it's really important to sit down and think of who you know and just writing down every single person that you know. Don't have preconceived notions that maybe the program won't work for them. Just write it down. It doesn't matter. And then you want to make sure that you are teaching your people how to also teach the program. So we're all learning this together. And then getting on calls with your coach. It also shows validity to the program. It shows that it works. It shows that other people have stories. It becomes relatable. It shows connections. It shows that we have a team that is there cheering them on, and we're not the sole person that is, you know, there and sharing that experience with them. I remember talking to Ed at some point, and he had said to me that you can talk to a friend, you can talk to a family member, and you can talk until you're blue in the face. And then you get somebody else on the line, and their answer is yes right away. But to you, it could be 3 years before they say yes. So it is really, really important to do those three-way calls.
Absolutely. For me, the most powerful tool in my business was the three-way phone call. I was terrified of sharing. I was terrified of saying the wrong thing. And my coach said, just get me on a couple phone calls. And I used that time to listen, to learn how to handle objections and how to get better. And also what I realized is by having that third party on the phone, she lost weight too. It wasn't something that was just happening for me. It was happening for her. It was bringing validity, credibility. So even now, 4 years into sharing this program, my favorite method, my favorite tool is the three-way phone call. Together is always better.
And it doesn't always have to be the same leader doing the calls. I know that when I started, and even to this day, I still do three-way calls, and I'm still taking notes, and I still, take in, new tidbits of information that maybe I didn't know before. So it's a great time to learn. It really is.
Awesome. Awesome job, Michelle. That was perfect. And my favorite point was, don't prejudge anyone. You never know who's crying inside. You don't know who desperately is waiting for an answer to their prayers. And by you withholding this information, you never know what's going on in somebody's life and how badly they need this. And I thought that was a great point. Thank you, Michelle.
You're welcome. So next up is the beautiful Lisa Dunsky, and she is going to be talking about referrals and sharing the story. So take it away, Lisa.
There we go. Thank you. That was excellent. Thank you so much. Can everybody hear me okay? Angela, give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Yeah? Okay. Sorry, my connection's getting a little funny over here. All right. So, really a lot of people, when they first get started in this opportunity, they're not really sure how to share this, whether it be, I'm waiting for my results, or I just don't know what to say to people, right? So we have a quick little, template that we teach people on how to really quickly share their story. Now, keep in mind that people don't really, and this may sound a little harsh, but people really don't care about your story. What they want to do is they want to tell you their story. So what you want to have is a quick little clear and concise story that is going to let the person know that there's something in it for them, that something that you're going to say is going to spawn what they want to tell you. And that is really what sharing your story is about. It's about that they can talk to you. That's what you want. You want to tell you what's wrong. We can then share with them how you can help. So basically, you want to just come up with, a couple of adjectives on how you feel and what makes you so excited about this. And if you're brand new, then those adjectives will come to mind very quickly. If it was 5 years ago, like myself, just think back to that magic day when everything just came alive inside you, and think about how you felt and what was so exciting about that. And just for me, I thought it was normal to be feeling bloated and gassy, and that I was eating clean and I was working out, so I was fine. But I was introduced to this program, and now I'm only working out 1 to 2 times a week, and I still enjoy, my cheat meals and my good food. And what I found was that eating clean wasn't doing me any favors, and I wasn't getting any nutrition in my food. So, I started on this program, and I was able to release 20 pounds in 3 dress sizes. And not only by maintaining those results, but I feel better now than I did when I was in my 20s. Now, that's a really quick story. I'm not going on and on and on. And something in my story is going to resonate with the person I'm talking to. Now, if I'm talking to an 88-year-old, my story is going to be a little bit different. So you want to have a few different things to talk about, but really get right back to talking to them.
All right.
Quick, clear, and concise, and back to you, right? So the other thing that that so many people forget that is so important in this industry is asking for referrals. Not everybody that you talk to is going to say yes. Not everybody is going to say yes the first 20 times. But don't be afraid to ask them for that referral. Who else do you know that wants to lose weight, gain energy, age healthfully, or even make a few extra bucks? It's not that hard to do. And literally, a referral is the highest compliment. So if you're talking to someone and they feel like, we've had a really great conversation, I loved your story, I'm so thankful I got to share mine, but I'm just not ready to commit to something like this. Awesome. You know what? I consider it a real compliment. If you really enjoyed this conversation with me, that you would refer me, and if you know someone else who's interested in any of the things that we talked about, please send me a referral, because I would love to help them. And, that's why I'm here. I love helping people. I love how it feels to help people. And you know what? If you send me some referrals, we can cross that bridge when we get there, but I can show you how to get a product reward coupon or maybe even some cash for that referral. So it's kind of another way to grab an extra, bit of interest in the person that you're talking to, because you're just asking for a referral, and nobody really gets upset if you ask for a referral. Especially if they are really not interested, they'd rather say, okay, yeah, go talk to Sarah, because I'm not interested. Right. And deserve their referral. You've done all this work and you deserve to get that referral. You've spent the time with them and you've shared your story and you've heard their story, and don't be afraid to ask for that referral. You're very well within your rights to say, you know what, I've helped. For me, what I say is I've helped thousands of people lose weight, feel great, gain energy, and age healthfully. Who do you know that may be interested in that? I tell you what, most of the time they say, well, me, because it really does apply to everybody. And that's my piece on sharing the story and referrals. Just keep it short and simple, and don't be afraid. It's, like Angela just said, you never know hurting, and you never know who knows somebody who could be hurting that really wants to help that person. And just, open your mouth and share it, and people will talk.
Awesome. That was amazing. So in the beginning, I just want to tell you guys that I would tell my 30-second story like, oh my God, and then there's these shakes, and you're not going to like them at first because they're not going to be that sweet, but those are just your taste buds changing. And then you have your cleanse days, and they're not the kind of cleanse days that make you go to the bathroom, but you eat these little chocolates and they're really good. Guys, that is not the right way to share your 30-second story. That is frightening when you're telling people they can't have beer, they can't have coffee, they got to buy the whole turkey because they can't have the boar's head cold cuts anymore. Don't. Really, Lisa gave a great point. Stick with a 30-second story before the program. That's the first point. Before the program, I was exhausted. I was overweight. I was unfulfilled. How you heard about the program, that gives credibility. I heard about the program through a childhood friend who posted her results on Facebook. I was excited. I was envious. I wanted those results too. What were your results? I lost 28 pounds and 49 inches. And now, what is your mission now? And now I am determined to help other people the way I feel. What are your goals? Your story is this much of the conversation. This much of the conversation is listening, right? You ever hear the saying, God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth? For this reason, you're asking questions. What are your goals? What would you like to achieve? What program have you tried? When was the last time you felt comfortable in your own skin? Right? These are the questions that Tracy asks people, because these are the questions that are getting to the core of the why. During these conversations, we're not talking about shake days. During these conversations, we're giving people hope for a better tomorrow, right? So asking for referrals, the founder of our company taught me that if you give someone business, at least $300 a year, whether you service your car with them, whether you get your hair done, whether you take your clothes to the cleaners, it's okay to ask people for referrals. 100% okay. So just to close it out, I want to tell you guys that if someone didn't share this program with you, none of us would be here. That's first and foremost. The second thing is, it's not about a $25 commission. It's about giving someone the gift of physical and financial freedom. Okay? When you're helping someone, my gosh, it comes back to you tenfold. And the third thing I want to express to you is, do you know how many no's I had to get to those few good yeses? I've heard a lot of no's. No one's ever cursed at me. No one's ever yelled at me. They either said, not right now. I'm not ready. It's not a good time. right? We all deal with rejections. It's too much money. I got to speak to my husband. I've got to ask my doctor. I need to do some research. I don't have time. It's the same objections each and every time. But if you have a cool heart and you're not attached to the outcome, and all you come to do is understand that I'm here to provide the information to the person, and they will make the decision. They will call me when they're ready. That's my only job. And when I got disconnected from the outcome and really understood that I was just serving a purpose, I was just doing this to help people, it became a lot easier. When someone says no, they're not saying no to you. They're not hurting you. They're just not ready. They're saying N-O because they K-N-O-W. They just don't know. They feel it's too good to be true. Maybe they're not ready to give up all the things that they love. Maybe they failed so many times they don't believe in themselves. You just continue to be a dealer of hope. You continue to provide the information. You continue to follow up because you care about people. And don't ever be shy about sharing this gift with other people. This is not about making money. This is about changing the world one life at a time. It is not about us. It is not about us. It is not about us. If I can help you guys, just feel comfortable with that, then I would have done my part tonight. And I think the ladies did a magnificent job. Sophia, Lisa, Heather, I don't see Tracy. I want to thank you so much for being on the call. Do you have anything else that you would like to add tonight before we close out?
Thank you for having me.
You did an amazing job. Thank you for being here, Lisa. Okay, thank you guys so much for being on. I hope this was helpful. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful night.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Good night, guys.
Bye.